Welcome to this Angular TextArea tutorial. Using the Syncfusion Angular TextArea component, you can enter multi-line text such as comments or messages. In this video, I will show you how to create an Angular app and add the Syncfusion Angular TextArea component. You will also see how to work with a few of the component's features like floating labels, resize modes, validation states, and the read-only state. Before proceeding, make sure you have installed the latest versions of Angular and Node.js. I'll use Visual Studio Code as my editor and show the output in the Edge browser. Let's start the application creation process. I open Visual Studio Code and install the Angular CLI using the command npm install -g at angular/CLI. Next, I will create a new Angular project using the command ng new project name and name it my Angular app. Here I will choose CSS option to add a CSS style sheet. The project creation has started, and an Angular project with the dependencies is created. Now let me navigate to the project folder. To use the Syncfusion Angular TextArea component, I type the command npm install at syncfusion/ej2 Angular inputs --save to install the inputs package along with its dependencies. Next, I must register the trial license key to use Syncfusion components. I open the main TS file and import the register license method from the Syncfusion ej2 base package. Using this method, I register the trial license key. For instructions on how to generate a trial key, refer to the link in this video's description. Next, I navigate to the app component TS file, import the TextArea module from the Syncfusion Angular inputs package, and register it within the imports array of the component section. To add the TextArea component, I open the app component HTML file and remove the default code. Then I add the division element with the class container to align the component. Within that element, I add the EJ's TextArea tag. I set the width to 200 pixels and the placeholder value to enter your comments. To access the CSS styles, navigate to the Styles CSS file and import the material theme CSS references. Also, to align the division element, I define the container class with styles such as margin left, margin top, and display using appropriate values. Now I run the application using the command npm start. You can see the text area with the placeholder value. Enter your comments. See here, I can enter multiple lines of text. Next, let me show you the TextArea's 3 validation states: success, warning, and error. To use any of these states, just set the CSS class property with one of the built-in classes eSuccess, eWarning, or eError. Here, I have set the eSuccess class to show success. I also changed the placeholder property value to success. To display warning and error states, I copy and paste the TextArea tag. For the warning state, I change the CSS class to eWarning and the placeholder value to warning. For the error state, I change the CSS class to eError and the placeholder value to error. You can see 3 text areas with the 3 validation states. When I begin typing in one of them, the placeholder value disappears. I can customize the visibility of the placeholder text using the float label type property. The Syncfusion Angular TextArea supports 3 types of float label visibility: always, auto, and never. Let me show you how all the types work. In the first TextArea tag, I add the property float label type and set the value to always. In the placeholder value, I change the value to always to tell which type of float label is assigned to the text area. In the second tag, I set the float label type property to auto. I change its placeholder property value to auto. In the same way, I set the float label type property to never inside the third tag and change its placeholder value accordingly. For better visibility, I will remove the CSS class property from all text areas. You can see the first text area with the placeholder value always. The placeholder text always floats above the text area. In the second text area, the placeholder text automatically moves upward when I enter a value. Look at this final text area. The placeholder value disappears when a value is entered. Next, you will see how to customize the row and column counts in the text area. Before proceeding further, let me remove the second and third tags to make this customization easier to understand. To change the row and column counts, I set the rows property to 3. Then I set the cols property to 50. I also changed the float label type and placeholder values for better clarity. You can now see the text area's row and column counts are customized as specified. By default, the text area component cannot be resized, but it supports 4 different resize modes: vertical, horizontal, both, and none. I plan to resize the text area vertically and horizontally, so let me add the resize mode property and set its value to both. See, now I can resize the text area vertically and horizontally. By default, I can type as many characters as I want in the text area. To limit the number of characters, set the max length property to 8. Look here, when I try to type more than 8 characters, I cannot. Next, let me show you how to prevent editing the text area value. I enable the read-only property and set a default value using the value property. I also remove the placeholder property. See, the text area is now read-only and cannot be edited. Still, you can use the handle to resize the text area. Finally, I will show you how to disable the text area. Let me add the enabled property and set its value to false. Now I cannot interact with the text area at all. That's how easy it is to add the Syncfusion Angular TextArea component to an Angular application and use a few of its basic features. If you want to try the example used in this video, you can download it from the GitHub link in the video's description. I have also shared a link where you can learn about obtaining a free license key for our Angular suite through our community license if you are eligible. Thank you for watching this video. If you found it helpful, please like it and subscribe to our channel.